welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is mini experiments 3, and we're going to be experimenting 2 experiments with Jupiter right now. So before I start, I'm going to be saying you that this is for like educational purposes only, and for entertainment and educational purposes only, so please don't try to actually do this. You can do it in Universe Sandbox. So anyway, this is Jupiter. So the 2 experiments I'm going to be doing with Jupiter, number 1 is turning Jupiter to make it have life, and number 2 is going to be colliding Saturn with Jupiter. I'm going to be crashing an identical Saturn into Jupiter and seeing what happens, which is the first and second largest planets in our solar system. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is going to be transforming Jupiter to becoming a habitable planet. So I'm going to be the first step you have to do is turn Jupiter into a rocky planet, because obviously you cannot have a habitable planet which is Earth-like if the planet is a gas giant, unless it's aerial life, but this is not supposed to be aerial life, this is supposed to be rocky. So I'm going to be turning Jupiter's size down, as Jupiter is a gas giant, so I'm going to be setting it to slightly larger. And I'm going to be removing some hydrogen and helium and we're going to add some silicate. Silicate should be the main primary composition of Jupiter. So I'm going to be taking off the helium and taking off the hydrogen. And then Jupiter is now a rocky planet now. I'm just transformed Jupiter into a rocky planet. So I'm just going to, before that, I'm going to just increase Jupiter's size to just being slightly similar to Jupiter's size. So now that Jupiter is a rocky planet, I'm going to start adding an atmosphere to Jupiter. So I'm going to be adding an atmosphere to Jupiter. And the atmosphere is going to be similar to that of Earth. So I'm going to be, hold on as I increase the atmosphere and atmosphere mass. It needs to have an atmosphere to be habitable. So let me set this thing to having an atmosphere, not too much, and you can notice water is slowly coming out, but the atmosphere is not visible for some reason, so there we go, the atmosphere is now visible. Now here's the atmosphere, and as the atmosphere came, water continued to come. So what should I do next? Well, I'm going to be crashing some water asteroids into Jupiter. I'm going to be sending a random asteroid and colliding it with, and I'm going to be setting the asteroid to contain water only. So let me go to layers, and I'm going to be going to show all. So I'm going to be going to and adding H2O to the asteroid, so it's going to launch a lot of water. So let me set that thing to have some water. It's going to take a while. Let me just increase it. So there is mostly water here. Now I'm going to be removing the silicate and the iron, so it's only water. And seeing if Jupiter, this is going to make it so that there's a lot of water on the planet. So it's going to create a lot of gas. Let me collide this thing. It's already receiving water, but just for fun, I'm going to be adding more water. It's going to take a while, and here I go. Water is now on Jupiter. Now that there is water on the planet, it's time to make it a little bit better. Let's add some vegetation and city lights. It's not appearing because it's not habitable yet. And you may notice Jupiter is a little bit too cold. How am I going to make Jupiter warmer? So I'm going to be I'm going to make sure the greenhouse effect is very high. I'm going to make sure the thing is so high, it's going to go into temperate temperatures. So I'm going to be setting the equilibrium temperature, which is now -14, and I'm going to make sure it gets temperate. So let me set that thing. So it's 16 degrees now, and let me set Jupiter to becoming about 16 degrees. Great, now Jupiter is 16 degrees. So I'm going to make sure the vegetation by slightly modifying it so that way it will be able to be shown. It's for decoration, you don't have to do that. You don't have to add a lot of vegetation into the planet, but if you want to, you can. So there was enough, and there was probably enough vegetation. So I'm going to make sure the liquid is active. So there's a lot of liquid. So here's Jupiter as a liquid, and I'm going to set the base color. I'm going to be changing the base color to be custom, so it looks better to be a habitable planet. Let me add some green. And there we go. Jupiter is almost similar to Earth. The only problem, 36% ESI despite being habitable. This is probably because of Jupiter being a little bit too large, so I'm going to be setting Jupiter to being only 1 Earth mass, and I'm going to set the mass of Jupiter down. So its mass is now 1 Jupiter. So in order to actually be very good and have life like Earth, Jupiter's mass is down, so it's going to decrease the ESI. So I need to remove the atmosphere for a second. Now there's not enough water, so I guess I have to increase water in the planet. So I think I added the water. The water is now back, and seeing it and noticing the ESI, the life likelihood has came up, but the ESI is this. So this is the closest I can get to making Jupiter similar to Earth. So you may like this. Make sure if you like this, click the like button. And if you want me to do some more stuff with Jupiter, like actually make it better, just leave something in the comments. So now with this planet that has life, I'm going to be doing something to it. First, I'm going to be increasing the size to what it was before, which means it's going to be 1 Jupiter, and now I'm going to be crashing Saturn into it for the next experiment with already habitable, or mostly habitable Jupiter. So let me get a Saturn here, a identical Saturn, and I will be crashing this into Jupiter in 3, 2, 1. Will Jupiter keep its life? And you can see Saturn is colliding into Jupiter. Now Jupiter has regained all of its gas, so it's back to normal. And you can see a tremendous collision that happened. So now you can see how very hot Jupiter became. So I'm going to be speeding up the time. You can see lots of impacts are going on. You can see tons of impacts. So at the end, Jupiter has just returned back to normal as it collected all of the hydrogen and helium from Saturn. And Jupiter is no longer like that habitable planet, just back to normal. Anyways, this is Mini Experiments 3. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone.